Zombies have taken over Lego City, so the president had to press the big red button. Everyone moved into bunkers underground. Today, we're going to reclaim the wasteland from zombies and raiders to rebuild Lego City, restore humankind, and retake the world. This is Lego Zombie Apocalypse City.
Okay.
Wow, big words for a Lego video, I know. But that must have been one of the coolest intros I've ever done. Today we're building a Lego Zombie Apocalypse City, if you didn't already catch that. We're currently looking at my old Lego City, and I'm thinking we should rebuild some of these houses. So let's start by destroying them completely. That didn't work, but let's rebuild them instead. My idea is to put a plane in the building, and I think this will look really cool. These houses were exposed to the bomb, so I want them to be destroyed and overgrown. Here we have some good plants and fun parts to get that overgrown look. I think I went a bit overboard, but you get the idea. I want to build these houses so that it looks like the nature has taken over again, and the planet is just taking back what's hers. Let's also add some interior to them so that the exposed parts look even more alive, or I should say dead.
Hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Yeah, that's more like it. There will be a lot of zombies in this city. The bomb did not work as planned. Let's add those zombies to the interior and finish up this hospital build. We have a lot of floors to cover, so let's bring in as much diversity as possible on these floors. There's some weird stuff going on top of the roof. Let's take a look at this build. We're done with the hospital, and I think this hospital turned out great. It went from this to this. Now it looks like an apocalypse hospital that has been taken over by zombies, nature, plants, everything. I think it looks really sweet. This specific build ended up being very inspired by The Last of Us. The whole overgrown thing and the broken walls and the zombies pouring out. I think I was a bit too inspired by The Last of Us. We have a lot of zombies in this build, and I tried to build some clickers from The Last of Us, but that's difficult. This hospital is full of zombies. We've got zombies everywhere, on every floor, but on the top floor we have something else. These guys are called super mutants. They're big, green, ugly monsters. They're pretty stupid, and they eat people. So here this guy is cooking up some human stew, and I think this guy in the cage is waiting to be next. Overall, this ended up being a really cool build. I really like the plane stuck in the building. Next up, we have this cool Octan office building. Let's destroy it and rebuild it. They're developing the new Tile Phone 14 Pro. Well, not for long. This one ended up being very Fallout inspired instead. We've got the whole futuristic office building with the big billboards on the front, and everything is just falling apart. Looks like we have some guests on the roof on this building as well. These are the guys from Up. I think they took a wrong turn when trying to find that beautiful paradise location and landed right in the middle of our zombie apocalypse city. However, it looks like they're capable enough to fight off the undead and survive the apocalypse. Next up, we should attack something that is quite precious to me. This video went viral on TikTok. It got over 18 million views. And I basically just built a burger restaurant. So let's rebuild that into an apocalypse version. So let's build this one on TikTok instead. By the way, you should follow me on TikTok, where I do Lego ASMR. Wow, that looks great. I hope you enjoyed that ASMR section. Here's a before and here's an after. Let's move on to something very important for this video. Planning. I know this isn't the most fun part, but I gotta admit, I thought it was quite fun to do. I have to sketch up how the city is actually gonna look. We need to do some planning around where the houses will be, where the roads will be, how the city will even work. So this is what we're gonna do now. We're gonna find some base plates and we're gonna lay out the entire grid of the city to figure out how big it's gonna be and where every single house is going to fit. So, this ended up much bigger than I planned from the beginning, but that's okay, projects always do. That's the fun part, you never know what to expect. Let me clarify my sketch a bit. The gray represents the roads that's going through the city, and then the dark tan represents the abandoned, the empty buildings, and the blue represents the places where people are actually living. I hope I made that a bit more clear. Let's start by building those roads. So these roads are great for customization. I know a lot of people don't like the new road system that LEGO City has provided, but I do really like them because you can customize them to the maximum. I'm using the Mills road plate system. You can look it up online if you want to do the same. And I've actually built a lot of those for my other projects. So today we do not have to build them. We're actually just gonna rebuild them and destroy the roads. My life has changed a lot in the recent years, so in the middle of this project I actually went to a LEGO event. I usually go to these and work at them, so this unfortunately came up in the middle of my project, but I thought why not build the roads and keep building the project at the actual event. When back home again, it was time to put out all the roads, because now we're done with them. So let's see how it all turned out. Alright, you can clearly see that I was lying. We still have a few roads left, but that's actually the bridge that we're gonna build later. So don't you mind that. They turned out great. I really like the look of it. They're not too cramped, but there's still a lot of stuff going on. We'll take a close look at the roads later. Let's actually focus on one of our main builds. This is our farm settlement. The big settlement. Look at this, I even made a few sketches. It looks beautiful, man. I'm actually proud of this, it looks really cool. It's time to build the first group of survivors. Let's build a big base for this settlement. These guys are going to be farmers and doing their best to grow food in the apocalypse, with zombies around every corner, so their solution is to build the farm on the roof. The farm will be on top of a big building with stores on the bottom floor. I think this will be a really cool and unique way of building an apocalypse city. Here we have a diamond store with a clicker in it, from The Last of Us again. Let's move on to the next floor. My plan is to make the building 3 floors. And this floor and the next floor will be an office. It's decorated with some desks and some cool office stuff, I guess. Let's add some cute pictures, a picture of a cat, and some windows, and the last floor.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
That ended up really great, actually. It's very inspired by Fallout, as many buildings are in this project apparently. Speaking of Fallout, look who's here. It's a vault dweller. And over here we have some zombies, or in the Fallout world, ghouls. I think we should move on to the next part of this build. Gang, it's time to up the ante. So this next building we're building is a big, grey, boring office building with a lot of destroyed walls and decaying facades. A building that is not gonna stand forever, and it's gonna be big. There's a lot of things to do, so get in there, hang in there. I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to myself as well, because this project is getting out of hand right now. This building is bigger than I planned. I won't do that much interior in this building because it's actually so huge. I might do it in the future, but you're still not gonna see it. I'm gonna hide a little interior here, but that's just because it's gonna be exposed to the outside. The focus will be on the rooftop, where the survivors actually live. As we're closing in on the end result, I'm so regretting this build, but it's gonna look cool. It's finally time to put everything together and see how it turned out. I'm very excited. How's that for a big building? Damn, it looks good. It turned out really good and really cool. Let's measure it and see how big it actually is. Alright, so this is insane. It's actually 45 centimeters high and 50 centimeters wide. Now that the house is done, let's take a look at the actual settlement at the top. Here's the sketch and how I want it to look. I really want it to look improvised and like they did what they could with the resources that they had. With an almost medieval style to it actually. I think it will look really cool. We start by building our main house, the biggest house on the roof, where most of the people live. This will act as a town hall, if you can call it that, with a few levels and a windmill on top. We need some farm plots, so let's go ahead and add that next to our main building. Here we will keep some pumpkins, corn and other vegetables. I think we need a scarecrow to keep away those irradiated crows as well. Containers make great houses if you really put your mind to it. So let's make a cozy house out of a container, a very common thing in movies and games. One final house and some more details, and then I think we've got it. This one should be built on the edge of the roof with a balcony, walkway on the edge so that people can keep an eye out for threats on ground level. It sounds much better than it will look. We're done! This is our first settlement and it looks absolutely insane. It turned out so much bigger than I planned from the beginning. And I like it. I think these people are safe from the zombies down below. For a while at least. There's a lot of fun details to look at in this build, but I don't think I have time in this video to show you everything. So as usual, I will show you every detail in another video. Let's take a look at what's going on back down on the ground level and build some surrounding buildings that have been abandoned and destroyed by the bombs. Not everyone can have it as good as the people up on the rooftops, you know? These people, they're just struggling to get by, doing whatever they can to survive. But the world is harsh now. There's zombies everywhere, there's a lack of food, you gotta do what you gotta do. And with friends like these, I mean, desperate times calls for desperate measures. That's all I can say. Man, what a life. Good food, warmth and comfort, friends and family, and just a nice community overall. Of course I'm being a bit sarcastic. This is not looking that great. I do not want to live like these guys. Yeah, it looks really cool, right? This house really got hit by the bomb. It looks completely destroyed. I think it's time to put everything together. Let's take a look at how it actually looks so far and what we've got. As you can see, we still have a few empty plots here. We have a lot of buildings that we actually haven't built yet. So my plan is to do that in the next part. This will act as part 1 and then we will have part 2. This is what we've got. Look at that. Wow. It ended up looking really cool. Imagine when it's done. It's gonna be so cool. Such a cool city to have. I love doing the GTA city, but this zombie apocalypse city, it's even more fun. We have a lot of cool and fun Easter eggs in this city, but I want to show you guys the entire city when it's done and do a full walkthrough review of that, as I usually do on this channel. So stay tuned for that. As for now, this city is done. Well, the part 1 of this city is done. I also realized that I need to change the room that I show you this in, because this room is not that good looking. I'll fix that for the next time. I'll see you in part 2 of this video, which will be the entire rest of the city. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and thank you guys, we just reached 100,000 subscribers. I've been dreaming of this moment since I was 12.